You know, if you get 20 people together and you start talking about food safe finishes and you start talking about cutting boards, you're going to get 40 opinions, and if in a bar, you're going to have a fight. You know, I've been out here on the internet and I've talked about this. I don't do it anymore. I give up. I quit. And I'm going to tell you what, if it wasn't that it's a really popular topic and a lot of guys like making cutting boards, I wouldn't have put it in this class. So before I begin this, I'm going to tell you what I do. Free to do whatever you want, but I'm also going to show you why. All right, without question, the number one food safe finish, and especially for cutting boards, is mineral oil. You know, the laxative stuff you can buy at the drugstore. And then some guys fortify it and make it a whole lot better, and they heat it up and melt beeswax in it. All right? You're going to see these a lot. I use these, you know, one of the things with me, and just like when we did the book, we didn't tell you about it. We tested it. We tried it. We proved it. These have been on here 6 months or more. Can you see this little label right there? Look right above it. Watch my finger. It's still not dry. Never going to dry. But I will be the first to tell you it makes wood look good. It really does. It looks great. Nice and wet. See that red splotch in the middle? See here? Got a nice sheen. See that? Now, one of the things with this one, it's been done 2 or 3 times, but it's just, and in the 6 months since it was done, it's just dead and flat as a doornail. See that big red splotch in the middle? That's a little bit of red wood dye. Went right to it, just almost like it wasn't there. This is Formby's tongue oil. Now it's an oil varnish. Is it food safe? Yeah, when it's dry, it's perfectly food safe. Matter of fact, believe it or not, there's no known clear finish that isn't food safe once it's dry. You have to understand something. In order for it to be not food safe, your body's got to be able to break it down back into some liquid state with all the chemicals it had when it was in a liquid form. And it doesn't happen. The only known finish that your body will dissolve is shellac. And that's why an M&M melts in your mouth, not in your hand. And that's what they use it to make time release medicine. You go in the grocery store and you see all of these apples and oranges and everything's real pretty and shiny. They wipe them with a thin coat of shellac. All right. My choice. Me. I will either use the general finish, the salad bowl finish, or I'll use some Armor Seal. Now I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I'm gonna. This one is a little thinner version of this one. Let me show you something. If you look on the edge of this lid right here, you can see where that dried and it formed a film or shield. It's hard, it's durable. Can we get that? See it right there on the edge? And it's a hard, durable, I mean, I can't hardly cut it with this razor blade. Now, the theory is that if you put this on a cutting board and you're in here, you know, you're doing your Ginsu thing and doing all that, whatever, you know, that you're going to chop and get little slivers of the finish. Well, you know, to get the finish, you're going to have to get the wood too. And I mean, one of the most popular ones is an end grain cutting board, because an end grain will take, I mean, you can just sit here and cut on these things, you know, forever and ever, and they're almost just self-healing. But, so what's the big deal? Personal opinion, I think people like mineral oil because it's cheap and it's easy to put on there. But the problem is, so is a better finish. Again, what is it I use? I use the Arm Seal. Let me show you in a minute. When I put this dye on here, and I start wiping it and cleaning it a little bit, it'll come off. I didn't get the cleaner. It comes off. It doesn't soak in. And this is the Formby's. Where's it at? Any good, here's soluble. Any good finish is going to seal it off, seal it down. I mean, I can take a damp rag and wipe that and it'll come just clean as whistle. It's not being absorbed by the wood. I'm not saying the mineral oil doesn't work. I'm just saying in order for it to work, you're going to have to keep doing it, because it's going to dry out. It's not going to dry, it's going to dry out, meaning it's just going to kind of evaporate and go away. Now, how do I do it? This is a cutting board that a good friend of mine, and you'll see him on the forums and whatever, Carl Letts made for me. I told Carl I need something to show you, so he put together this is white maple end grain and purple heart cutting board for me. Now this side right here, all I did, and now I want to be real clear here, I happen to agree that I don't want a heavy film on here. So all I'm going to do, this side right here doesn't have a thing on it, and I'm going to show you how I apply it. I simply take a foam brush. Let me get this up. I'm going to take a foam brush and I'm going to put a shiny wet coat on it. One good wet coat. And I'm going to let it absorb. One of the things I want to mention, these I did all the tests on. This is end grain red oak. If you don't know, red oak is about as porous as it gets. You know, it and ashes. I put one good wet coat on here. I let it set, let it dry. Then I come back, take some little 320 and I scuff it. Make sure it's smooth. Then I take and I do a white coat. That's just to kind of finish it off a little bit. If it looks overly dry, I'll put a second coat of Armor Seal. I'm done. So I'm not trying to build up a finish on it. I'm trying to get a finish in it. And I want that finish to soak in and harden. That's what's going to keep it from absorbing liquids. You can wash them, do whatever. You know, now I wouldn't put a cutting board in the dishwasher. I don't care what it's finished in, just because, you know, the heat, the steam, and all like that. But, you know, stick it in the dishwasher, wash it off, you're good. You're done. If you're using the mineral oil, you're going to have to bleach them now and then. That's the other thing. You know, now that said, if your cutting board's getting a little stained or whatever like that, just take you some bleach and wipe it. Usually it'll kill whatever stain you've got on there. But here's something you want to do. If you've got a coarse cutting board, meaning like the red oaks that's got mineral oil, you got to think about something. It's going to be absorbing that bleach too. So here's a quick tip. Take you 1 tablespoon of baking soda, mix it to a cup of water, and wipe it down good with it. That neutralizes the bleach. But the best thing to do is to have it just like, you know, a good film, a good finish on it that's absorbed into it. You're done. So that's my choice, and that's what all of our cutting boards have, and they've been around for years. So, Carl, thank you for the cutting board. This would be good for filleting some fish on her. Chopping up a zucchini on or something like that now that summer's here. All right, some of you guys are new, y'all don't know the story. If you haven't watched the Mastering Woodworking show, you're probably not familiar. Crystal, aka Camera Girl, back behind the camera here, because she gets a lot of things. Married, 3 kids, you know, likes furniture, and so when we were building something in the show or whatever, she's like, you know, I'd like to have one of them, and she usually gets it. My buddy Jim Pell's sitting over here watching me, and the other day he came in here and we had done the sofa table that a lot of you've seen, and it was sitting in here, and he says, now is that for our customers, the princess getting it? So I was just informed the princess needs a new cutting board. Well, I guess we know where it's going. Nice while it lasted, Carl. That's cutting boards, guys. Again, suit yourself.